So if they set 4 camp into gank, he will have
16.
right. At full clear, he will have
24.
perfect. What if he has 24 but level 3?
It's because he could either have ganked the lane and taken some CS, or he skipped the camp and then scuttle.
Exactly, that's the correct one. Has 24 CS and level 3, it means he 5 camp into Scuttle, okay? This is really important because if you see that he 5 camped into Scuttle just by pressing tab and then you click on him and check his buff durations. Why do you check his buff durations? Because based on the ratio between the durations of the 2 buffs, you know how many camps he did between the 2 buffs. So by knowing which camps, so like this, look. Just by pressing tab and clicking on him, you know everything about the pathing he did and what things he took and didn't take. Because by clicking on him, if the 2 buffs that he has are like very close together in duration, so this one is like this, and the other one is sort of like the same, like in half. They are very close, which means he didn't do any camps in between them. But if he has 24 CS level 3 and didn't do any camps in between these, it means that the buff that he skipped, the camp that he skipped is probably one that is between these two. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be probably something like wolves. Okay? Or raptors. However, if the opposite happens, for like this one is like almost done and this one is like very like, you know, a huge difference between them, then the one that he skipped is probably one that will go after the buffs. So which one is that? Probably Cracks or Grump. So for example, if you see him topside, imagine you see the jungler topside. This is just by pressing tab, you know everything. So let me show you the League of Legends map. Where is it? So let's say that the enemy jungle is blue side and you see him here with 24 CS, level 3. And you see that he has like the blue buff duration is like almost full. He has just taken blue buff. Well, this means what camp did he skip then?
Either
He can only have skipped one.
Or
remember, he did yeah, exactly. He did 5 camp into Scuttle, remember? So which one did he skip if the blue buff is full duration? Well, he skipped the one that would be after blue buff, right? So he skipped this one. So if you check the tab, you see this, click on him, see this, and then you see him recall or path towards the bottom Scuttle. Then this is free, okay?
Yeah.
You take his grump. So just by pressing tab and looking at the camera and looking at him, you know everything about his clear, okay? Everything. You just gotta get in the habit of clicking on him. This is gonna teach you how to pay attention to the enemy jungle more, because you gotta pay attention to him and what he wants to do more than you and what you wanna do, okay?
So, like the champs I played, right? Like Lilia, she's not that strong early game. I mean, it depends if I hit the middle of my W or not. So if I were to try to take their grump, right? But then the jungler comes back because he didn't see anything top or anything mid, right? And then I just die there. Wouldn't that make it worse?
Yeah, of course, but the idea is that that's why I said if you see him go like to Scuttle in the bottom or you see him recall, that's what I said.
Okay.
So if these two things happen, it's 100% guaranteed. Of course, if you don't have vision on him, of course he can come back here or whatever. Another thing you can do is just step here, ward it over the wall and just wait here and try to smite it. Really normal things that you will see a lot in Hail. Okay. Well, first of all, you should never have their harvest here, no? This is a Conqueror game. They have like Zag and Mundo. So you go their harvest when you're against like heavy ranged and squishy team, but they have literally only one range and the ranged are all melee and two or three tanks.
Yeah. It's just I've tried playing Conqueror Riftmaker before, and I just didn't like the feel of it. I guess it just feels like the turning point in that build is when I get 3-4 items, whereas Dark Harvest Leandries, when I get Leandries, that's a big power spike already.
So here's where you gotta separate feeling from actual like facts, right? It might feel worse, but I think it's the correct thing to do in this match. So if you check, see this? This is pro
Yeah.
players playing Lilia in this match, in solo queue. What you will notice is that it's 50-50 between Conqueror and their Harvest. Why? Because they will go their Harvest in matches that are against heavy range. So here against Talia, see, their Harvest. But see
Yeah.
here, Ramos and Kench, Wukong, all Conqueror. Why? They are like not ranged, right? So you go Conqueror, Leandris, and Demonic Embrace, okay? So the Riftmaker I think is out of favor now. Look, 76% of the time people are going Leandris. So let's do the exercise here for a second. Who has the setup bot and top in your team?
I would say Aatrox.
Yeah, you're never answer Yumi to that question, okay?
Yeah.
And who has the setup in bot and top in the enemy team?
Bot side.
Exactly. Okay, just look at the ignites, right? Aatrox has ignite, Mundo doesn't. Blitzcrank has ignite, Caitlyn has exhaust, and these two don't have any.
CC.
Well, also escapes, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if you're the Zac, where are you gonna path?
Bot side.
So where is he now? Not a coincidence, right? So Zac
Yeah.
has two options here. He can either 3-camp bot lane, so like do red buff, Raptors, and Krags into a bot lane gank, level 3, or he can full clear the bot lane and gank bot lane. Either way, there's two possible windows in which he's gonna gank. If he does the 3-camp, it's gonna be 240. Let's say 45. And if he full clears, it's gonna be a 335 ganking bot. So these are the two moments that you can do something to contest in the map. Either try to go for a contest ganking top.
Yeah, I just always ward River Bush, especially because they have a Blitzcrank, so no one has to.
Yeah, this is good.
So then just back it, rank it. I always start red, which is I think something I have to change depending on matchup, just because the clear is like 10-15 seconds faster with red start.
Just because you have a leash, you mean? Oh, no,
No,
you
it's
mean red
just like
start.
red start, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's only good if you plan to counter gank bot lane. That's the only good choice you have here. But I personally think you should have tried to kill the Mundo. Give one kill to Aatrox, killing the Mundo early before he gets the first recall where he becomes tanky. Because remember, Mundo is not a tank until the first recall. Any tank is not a tank until the first recall. So I think you should have killed Mundo before the first recall, and then what happens is that basically Aatrox gets the free lane because with a kill above Mundo he just has a free lane forever. And you don't have to worry about top anymore, you can just play with the dragons in bottom. Okay, so we were right about one thing, it's just that he went into another lane. So level 3 gank is what he's doing, so it's 240 right now. So we were 5 seconds short. Why we were 5 seconds short? Because he did this clear that is faster. Instead of doing the one that I said that he should have done red into... Yeah, and these two gank bot, this is 5 seconds slower, but you gank bot. So he's still doing what we predicted. The thing is, I think this was way better, honestly, but it's fine. The fact that Twitch died solo killed in bot lane is just coin flip. It's not like Zac could have predicted that. But anyway, we know his gank timers, and that's what happened. See, he ganked me, didn't get a kill.
I think they started playing... That's one of the things that's kind of frustrating about jungle, is like sometimes... like, I couldn't have any impact on that before.
By the way, another really bad thing about the fact that you start pathing towards the weak side. If your side is the weak side and their bot side is the strong side, this is also why you never path that way, because what happens is that their side will get the prio and they deny the scuttle, okay?
Okay.
So for example, imagine they had Karma Caitlyn, and your team had like, I don't know, like Vayne Lulu. Karma Caitlyn will get the prio early every time, they will be stronger, right?
Yeah.
And so if you path towards their side, not only they will deny the scuttle, but if these guys were higher elo, they will just push the third wave and then just invade your blue and you cannot get it. Because they have insane prio and your bot lane cannot move. So this is why it's so dangerous to move towards a lane that doesn't have the strong side, okay? You need to start thinking about these things. Because also, imagine if you were here now, see?
Yeah.
You should be here now. Remember I told you should be like top lane around this time after a full clear. And you could be here preventing the Zac from ganking the Aatrox and actually killing the Zac because he doesn't have E look. He used the E.
Yeah.
So Zac would die here 100%. So this is why it's so important to plan ahead and not improvise like you're doing.
Yeah.
And this is why you lose the Scuttlegraph, see? So even though the enemy jungle is topside, you still lose the Scuttlegraph.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're playing towards a lane that has the weak side. So here you should have just recall. Where are you going? You're losing a lot of time.
I don't really know. Yeah.
Wasting a lot of time. There's no camps for you to do or nothing to do at all. I'm not sure what you're doing. Okay, but see, this is because you didn't press tab. Let's press tab. You saw the guy here. Remember when I told you pressed tab the first time you see? Okay, here. We pressed tab. How many camps did he do?
3.
Right? And he ganked mid lane with red buff. If you had seen him, you will know he has red buff. And he still has the 3 camps. So if he ganked mid lane with red buff from this side of the map and 12 minions, it means he did all of this, right?
Yeah.
And now he stopped and he still has 12 minions and doesn't have any buff. That means he didn't do blue, correct? So how can this ever be alive?
Yeah.
Impossible, right? So you could be with Cassiopeia now getting out of base with your items, going towards the top side to clear, but you're still wasting time here doing nothing. So you did all you wasted like 30 seconds already, which is like you did like this path in here, then went here for nothing when you knew for a fact that this was dead if you just press tab and check it. Okay? So see the power of thinking about the enemy jungler and pressing tab instead of living in the moment, right?
Yeah.
It's like you gotta do the opposite of what psychologists tell you. Like, you know, when they say, oh, you gotta live in the moment, man. Well, in league you gotta live in the future and the past. Okay?
Okay.
Because you will know that it's impossible that any of these are alive. So let's do the calculations actually. You could have started resetting now, which is 3:28. The reset takes 8 seconds to get to base, that is 3:36, and getting back to the lane takes 20 seconds, that's 3:46. So 3:46 you could be killing this. Okay? Let's see where you are in 3:46. But you could be here with items already, and you're here with no items. And this is why tempo in the jungle and being like playing jungle like it's a speedrun matters so much, because you don't want to fall behind in tempo like this. You're basically being AFK for almost a minute, and it's really bad because if you actually were AFK for a minute, it will feel really bad. See, also you checked the red buff even though you saw him with red buff ganking here, right?
Yeah.
And even if you didn't see he had red buff initially, you should have seen that when he was fighting Aatrox in the top lane, he didn't have blue. So that means if he has level 3, 12 minions, but he doesn't have blue, it's obvious that the one that's missing is the red.
Yeah, right here was a big mistake.
Yeah,
I
you're
had kind
ganking.
of expected bot to. It was a bad gank by me. I pinged it a couple times, and then I was also expecting my bot to move up with me, but they were kind of shoved in, so they really couldn't have.
But it's not only that, you are ganking the weak side. This is what happens when you gank the weak side. How can they set up or help you?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one condition that needs to happen for you to be able to gank the weak side, which is the enemy has to be really pushed in or low HP.
Yeah.
None of these are true. They are full HP and they are not pushed.
Yeah, and then here I just got really mad. But,
and imagine if you can
look
hear.
back at it, it was my mistake, so...
You could be ganking the Dr. Mundo. You could have cleared this already. So
Yeah.
not only that, you could have the what do you buy usually first, Lily? Do you go Dark Seal or no?
I go Lost Chapter first.
Okay, so you
Lost
could
Chapter
have like
first.
double Amplifying Tome or Amplifying Tome plus Boots right now. Or
Yeah.
you could have the Lucidity Boots, whatever you prefer. And you could be coming here to kill the moon, and look, he doesn't have flash.
Yeah.
And he's pushed.
Okay.
What's more, it's not only that you're wasting time and losing XP for nothing, it's also that you're giving the enemies information about you, because now, if the Zag was smart at all, he would do this. Oh, 24 CS, and his bot side with blue. Crocs are up. Okay? And this is goodbye Crocs. If this was high elo, this is goodbye Crocs and goodbye Raptors. And now you're stuck in level 4 for like 2 more minutes. So it's like a kingdom. He will get like level 6 and you will see before. So you could lose the game off of this. In higher elo. Because one thing you gotta avoid about the jungle is giving the enemies information about where you are. Okay? What happened here?
No, here I tilted. I was at a bad. I think it was a losing streak I was at, and I got my right there at my mistake.
And see how Zag, look at how Zag CS here. Even though he 3 camp into gank, he has like 10 more CS than you, like 2 or 3 more camps.
Yeah.
So how is that possible, even though he 3 camp and ganked? Well, that is possible because you wasted so much time going into his jungle when you knew the conditions there. This is especially important that you do it with a jungler such as Lilia, because if you are playing like a permafight brain-dead type of thing, like, you know, I don't know, you're playing Kiana jungle or you're playing like Rek'Sai, then sure, just like literally permagank and permafight and disregard the CS, right? If you're playing Twitch jungle, right? Just permagank. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The CS don't matter, whatever. But you're playing a jungle where like the pathing and checking the enemy CS and things like that is like the bread and butter of your jungle. So it's really important that you do this.
Okay. And so I should, in this game, I should have prioritized ganking Mundo over anything. But then, for example, let's say Zach was able to get a kill on bot lane.
Right.
Right, earlier on, and then bot lane was behind. Should I still be prioritizing Mundo over helping
be careful.
bot lane?
Be careful with that. We said we only gank Mundo before the first recall, remember?
Okay.
Before his first recall. So the idea here is that the strong side and weak side for early doesn't have to be the strong side and weak side for the whole game. So Aatrox is never gonna carry you this much, okay? The person that is gonna carry you this much is Cassiopeia and Yumi, okay? And Twitch maybe, but Cassiopeia and Yumi mostly. That doesn't mean... So, one thing is the win condition in the game itself, and another thing is the strong side in the first pathing, okay? The strong side in the first pathing is whoever has the setup in the first pathing to determine where you gank. That doesn't mean that you will never gank bot lane or just... Basically, after you get a free kill on Mundo, then what I said, remember what I said? It was like, after you get a kill on Aatrox, then you don't need to go top anymore. Remember?
Yeah.
I said like, you just help the Aatrox get the 1 kill and then he can be left alone and never touch top anymore, and now you can play for bot and dragons. That's what I said. So that's basically how you do it usually. It's like, in this match for example, you just get a kill on the Aatrox and Mundo, help him, and then you just prioritize the dragon a lot and the bot lane, okay?
Okay.
So a lot of people get confused and think that just because somebody has a setup early, that means that you never go ever again to the other lane. No, that's just for the first clear usually. It should be dragon. It should be a slow though. You don't have prio. Yeah, maybe not. So where are you going here again? Oh, never mind. The Cassiopeia portrait. The Cassiopeia portrait was hiding the grump. I think you should have reset. Yeah, you should have reset and went top side, farm the top side into bot lane, and then because the thing that you're doing wrong here is so see drones up and Sag is top. I think you should drone. But anyway, you wanna time your resets and pathings towards the drone. The issue here is that you're gonna be top side when dragon is free. See? That's why like you reset, you go top, farm the whole top, and then you end up in dragon when you can prioritize it. By the way, oh yeah, you have two amplifying items. Okay, I was gonna say if you bought the chapter yet or not. Okay, level 6. Imagine if you had Conqueror here, by the way, I think you could kill both. No, this is troll. Yeah, if you had Conqueror, this would be less bad. But because you don't have Conqueror... Your spells do too little damage when you don't have Conqueror on champions like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is what happens when we path incorrectly, okay? Which is now both sides of the map are alive at the same time. I don't know if you watch any pro jungle streamers, but one of the main things they always say is you never want to have both sides of the jungle alive at the same time.
Okay.
Because what that means is that you're not using the reset, the cooldown on any camps effectively. Basically, you want it so that there's always at least one side of the map that is like on cooldown resetting, so that you're never wasting time, right? But right now you're wasting cooldown resetting time, basically. Sort of like when you have the sweeper, you want to always use it so that you have it more often. This is the same. So you should have around 6 CCS right now.
Yeah.
And why is this happening? It's mostly because you're like not thinking ahead and instead just going where like you feel like you could go in the moment instead of thinking where you could go in the future. So for example here, look at where Twitch is, right? And mid lane is missing. So you could predict this ahead and think like, okay, maybe I should be going bot side just to expect a gank because mid lane is missing and Twitch and Yumi are pushing a lot. So it's like what you're gonna do that is wrong is that you're probably gonna react to this gank. It's oh my god, what? What am I watching? So you had all the time in the world to be here, but it's too late now, see? And it's probably because you didn't even move the camera to check what was happening like half a minute ago. Really important that you move the camera to check the state of like somebody's fighting, mid lane is missing, and they are really pushed. Okay. Put yourself in the shoes of the enemies. What would you do? Let's look at the game from the point of view of the enemy. I'm gonna only show the vision of the enemy. So what would you do if you were Kiana? Look at the wave. It's pushed. See? See how she pushed?
Yeah.
So the wave is pushed. And this is happening bot, and you have a pink ward here. What would you do? Right?
Yeah, just rotate down.
And you have all this information. You know that she pushed. You know that there's no vision in your team here because you have your team's vision. So this is your team's vision. There's no vision. So what would you... Like, the thing is that you're not putting yourself in the shoes of the enemy here. Like, you gotta always think what they wanna do. What would you do if you were them? Okay?
Yeah.
Because the game becomes much easier because it's not like you don't know what you should do yourself. In other words, probably if you were this Kiana, you would have rotated as well. So you know that this is the right play. It's just that you're not considering what she wants to do in the first place. So like it's not crossing your mind what she wants or doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
So if you put yourself in the shoes of the enemy, a lot of choices and decisions become way more obvious. Think more about their point of view than yours. Why is she pinging you? Oh. Oh, it's unnecessary ult. Okay, so this should be drawn, no?
Yeah, I think we're pushing the wave here and then moving drag. Or at least that's what we should be doing.
It should. Because also look at this. Aatrox is here and Mundo isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So even more reason to go dragon.
And so, for example, what if I've had some games where like I would ping drag in this situation, but then bot would just stay to get like plates or farm.
You can start it and see where
So-
you go from there. I would say like 9 out of 10 times it will go fine. Maybe 1 out of 10 games you will have like the body and not only doesn't move, but then the enemy does move and like they just troll you, I guess. But I mean, if that happens, that's just your body trolling you. Not much you can do. But the
Yeah.
point is, if you do it enough times, even if sometimes they troll you, a lot of the times you will be correct. Remember, League is a game of numbers, right? A lot of the times you will get trolled and whatever, but as long as you do the correct choice every time, then you are gonna be right more than wrong, and that's how you claim. By
Okay.
being right more often than you're wrong. So
Yeah,
this is
no, I
really,
shouldn't.
yeah. So for example, Sag is getting the dragon for free, and you're not getting Herald, even though top lane is missing, and you have Cassiopeia. So this is 2v0. See? So this was a free Herald, for example. This is what we call a
Yeah.
cross-map play, right? When, remember, your job as a jungler is that the enemy jungle never takes stuff for free. So so this is why it's so important to think about their point of view, right? Because you gotta think about what they wanna take and either contest it or have it not free. So everything the enemy jungler does has to be for a price, not free. If you are in range, same quadrant, in distance of getting in time, you contest. If not, you contest by getting value in opposite side. Opposite objective, tower dive, jungle, contra gank. No, contra jungle, sorry.